Hi everyone, my name is Kai and welcome to today's review for Jungle Cruise, the long-awaited adventure movie coming out from Disney Studios, starring Dwayne Johnson, Emily Blunt, Jesse Plemons and also Jack Whitehall. Now, before we jump into today's video, I just wanted to say, if you wouldn't mind smashing that like, share and subscribe button, it will be very much appreciated. I do have a personal goal in mind which I would love to reach by the end of the year, and that is to basically hit 10 subscribers, which only you guys can help me achieve. So if you wouldn't mind helping me on my journey, it would be very much appreciated. But with that out of the way, let's jump straight into today's video. Now, Jungle Cruise is a very peculiar film. The reason why I say this is it's actually based off of the ride from Disneyland, and in my personal opinion, I think Jungle Cruise has a lot of different elements from different movies bungled into one. The first one would have to be, of course, Jumanji. Dwayne Johnson's performance in it kind of reminds me a lot of his performance in Jumanji. And the second one would also have to be Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, the reason why I say Pirates of the Caribbean is mainly because of the side villains, the artistic kind of how they look and act. Reminds me a lot of Pirates of the Caribbean Salazar's Revenge. If you haven't seen that, I'll probably put a link up somewhere around here of, you know, the images of what they actually look like from Salazar's Revenge. Now, personally, Jungle Cruise, when it comes to the story, isn't really that good. If I'm being honest, it's very a story which you've seen multiple times before, a twist which you've also seen multiple times before. Just overall, it's a general film which you've probably already seen before, and there are probably 10, 100 more that will come out later on in the next 10 years, which will be similar to this one. However, personally, the thing which Jungle Cruise sets apart from the rest of those films is the aesthetics. Now, of course, this is a Disney movie, so, you know, the CGI, how it looks, everything in general is going to be top notch. It's a very fun film, fun for all ages, I've got to say. Some of the horror elements, I guess you could say horror elements or violence, you know, some of it is actually, which I would perhaps even see in a horror movie, 15 rated or I guess R rated. I believe that's what people from America are used to, or TV-14 I guess is what you guys are used to. But personally, I think Jungle Cruise is a pretty good film. Jack Whitehall, he's not necessarily my favourite kind of comedian or actor of sorts, but in this I think actually complements the movie well. He's not too overbearing as he is in other things. I think he does a pretty good job and really does, you know, kind of, he has a lot, I wouldn't say a lot, but he adds, you know, his own kind of thing to the movie, which I personally enjoyed. Jesse Plemons, didn't necessarily like his performance in the film, and it wasn't necessarily because of him, it was mainly because of his character arc. He just seems very boring, just kind of, he's one of those actors in this movie where I think he was only cast in it because it's Jesse Plemons and it gives the film more credibility, even though I don't think you really need much credibility. You really need Dwayne Johnson and also Emily Blunt. When it comes to those two, I think they have perfect chemistry. I think Emily Blunt isn't her, I don't think this movie is anybody's real strong point. However, I think, you know, they do a pretty good job personally. Emily Blunt, for me, I would say her best films are going to be Mary Poppins Returns and also The Tomorrow War. I think she was brilliant in those films. This film, you know, just, I think, okay. Dwayne Johnson, you know, because I'm a big wrestling fan, kind of badmouth Dwayne. However, I think this is a role whereby you know it's Dwayne. It's not a performance which you would probably say, yeah, this is really breathtaking, this is amazing, and things like that. I think it's just a average performance all around from everybody. But overall, you know, the film has its ups and downs. When it comes to the story is basically that there's a mythical sort of tribe of sorts who were basically broken away from the world in order to protect this tree, which basically harnesses a kind of flower or sorts, which will be able to cure diseases and things of that nature. And essentially, Emily Blunt's character is trying to locate this lost kind of tree and leaves in order to take some home and kind of study it and help mankind in a sense. However, Jesse Plemons, he's kind of trying to take it to, you know, cause havoc and things of that nature. The tryst, if you don't want to know what the tryst is basically that Dwayne's character is actually around 700 years old. He and a bunch of the side villains were in search of the lost tribe, and essentially what they were trying to do was find it. On their journey, things start to go wrong. Majority of the companionship who they go with ends up dying due to loss of food, loss of water, diseases and things of that nature. However, once they're on death's door, the lost tribe sorts come in, save them, revive them or with the leaves from the magical tree, integrate into their society. However, once it's time for them to leave, they kind of want to take some of the leaves back with them. The tribal chief says no, and essentially they try to kill everybody and take it from themselves. However, the land and the tribe kind of put a curse on them, whereby they can't die. It's kind of like Davy Jones, where they start to become a part of the jungle, whereby in Pirates of the Caribbean, Davy Jones becomes part of the ship and the sea and things of that nature. Now, personally, my rating for Jungle Cruise would have to probably be, I gave it a 7 at first. However, after watching it, I think I've got to give it a 6.5. Unfortunately, I think this is a terrific film for family and people of that nature. But I think for the story aspect, it's not very good. Very long. Doesn't necessarily make sense when it comes to incorporating all these ideas into one. But that's pretty much my review for Jungle Cruise. Sorry that it's not necessarily the best of reviews. Do apologise for that. If you wouldn't mind smashing that subscribe button as I already mentioned, that would be very much appreciated. And I'll see you all on my next video. Thank you and have a good day. Peace.